Episode number 116. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your tweets. We got a new review by Gaming 711. Steve has an excellent podcast. He has a great blend of strategy and personal stories. I would not only recommend this to my friends, but harass them until they listen to it. I also like the occasional guest. Keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. I've been getting some tweets and emails about the cold showers and the cold ice in the bed, and what it's done, if I'm still doing it, and like that. And it was funny, I was laying in bed with my wife the other night, and I got out the ice pack, and I threw it underneath the sheet, and I laid down on it, and she just kind of shook her head, and she said something in Spanish. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it had something to do with Dios mío. And which means, oh my God, he's still doing it. And she said, "Are you going to do this for the rest of your life?" And, I think so. My attitude usually with things like this is, if there's something that benefits me and I see, the long-term life advantages of it, and like with the cold showers, upping your immunity. And I only get sick probably twice a year. And since I started doing this a few months ago, I haven't gotten sick. Maybe there's a connection, maybe not. But I can tell you that when I do the cold ice in the bed, the cold pack underneath the sheet, you lay on it like in the center of your back, I don't need to sleep as long. I sleep faster. I started doing it at work as well. And with the cold showers, there's something about voluntarily putting yourself through that torment for the couple minutes that when unexpected things come up in the day to kind of set you off your game, it's less of a bump in the road, if that makes sense. It takes a lot of willpower to turn that knob to freezing cold. And the first 20 or 30 seconds haven't gotten any easier. It's still taking my breath away. But after those 30 seconds or a minute, you're able to breathe normally, and the water feels like it's starting to warm up, although it's actually not. Your body's just getting used to it. I still take naps in the afternoon, if I can. I'll usually try to throw in a 15 or 20 minute nap, not too long. But with the cold showers, I don't necessarily feel like I have to anymore. And I like that. And I'm going to keep doing it, and I enjoy it. So, yeah. Yes, I will keep doing that. Got an email here from Craig. He says, guys, firstly, I'm a big fan of your podcast. Thanks so much for the time and effort you invest into putting into this great content out there. I really enjoy the hand discussions and the great guests that you get. So far, the Mark Aliotto, Killingbird, and Jared Tendler episodes were particularly good. Well, thank you. The fact that you guys are both at different stages of the semi-pro/pro journey, at least at episode 25 where I am, it's great to hear how you're both getting on, as like many players, I wonder if I could ever make the step up to pro level, and the insight that you guys give is really useful. I'm hoping that by the time I actually catch up with the episodes that you guys have scored big. Lastly, I'd like to say I'm only on episode 25, so he goes on to say that he wasn't able to find the first 5 episodes, so I emailed those to him. And Craig, if you're listening now at episode 116, you made it. Send me an email. I'd love to hear it. So that's awesome. He's been he's kind of taken the same approach that I do when I get a podcast that I really like. Is I go back to the beginning and I want to hear the whole story. I want to hear it 1 through however many there are. And I did the same thing with Tournament Poker Edge and with the Thinking Poker podcast and Alex Assassinato's podcast. And I like the same thing. So thank you, Craig. Thanks for tuning in. And let me know when you get to this one. I'd love to hear it. Mike, some news. Mike recently had an awesome score. He was on Twitch, and he sent me a text message. He said, "Hey, why don't you come on over right now? I'm really deep in the 100K." I thought, ooh, this sounds like fun. So I got on Twitch, started putting my feelers out, got everybody on Skype and text messages and Twitter and Facebook. And at one point we had 50 people watching. He was heads up. And first place was, I believe, 28K, and second was 17. It was a really neat heads-up battle, and it was somewhat lengthy. And he ended up getting second, so he got 17K score. Hopefully his downswing is on the men's. And we had Aaron, we had Phil, Lori, Mark Alioto, Derek. Everyone was watching them. Some of my buddies that are into poker, I was texting them. They were watching them from their phones. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Very cool. So if you want to check out Mike's Twitch channel, go to rampagepoker.com, and you can click on the Twitch channel from there, bookmark it, and watch him when he plays. That was really cool. It was neat to meet a lot of the fans, and it was just a great time. It was fun. So congrats, Mike. He's up in Los Angeles right now playing some live tournaments. And so good luck, Mikey. We'll see how, we'll report back next week and see how he did. We've got a couple of strategy hands here. I pulled up some from some tournaments I played. And these strategy hands are brought to you by Tournament Poker Edge. Yes, the Tournament Poker Edge is a tournament training site. You know, this is interesting. I was in the bathroom this morning. I got home from work, and I was in the bathroom, and I was staring down at the bathroom rug. And there's this little tab underneath the bathroom rug. It's one of those tabs that like has the barcode on it and says what to do. You know, wash it in cold water and like that. And the rug was down. The tab is kind of sewn to the bottom of the mat, but when you flap the mat down, this tab just flaps out. And I realized at that moment when I walked into the bathroom, I've been staring at this tab for 6 months, and I have a pair of scissors literally 4 feet away, and I've never cut the damn thing off. I don't know why, but at that moment, some random synapse fired, and I reached into the medicine cabinet, and about 6 seconds later, there was no annoying tab that was sticking out underneath the rug. And this is the way I view Tournament Poker Edge. You guys have been hearing about it. You know how great it is. If you really want to get good at tournaments, there's no better place to learn. They've got a forum where you can post hands just like we did 2 weeks ago. Right now, the recent videos, Pete the Saurus Morris is just an absolute grinder on America's Card Room. We've had him on the podcast. Andrew Brokus has also put out a series, Six Max W Coop Tournament. It's just an awesome site, and I can't imagine poker without him. I really can't. It's so you can sign up. Use the code HUP month, HUP quarter, and HUP year. You'll save yourself $10, $20, and $30 respectively with each sign up. Be a part of the Tournament Poker Edge community. I have a hand here for you. It's King Queen of Clubs on the button. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to record this for you, and if you want to watch it, you can go to headsuppoker.poker and go to the videos tab, and you'll be able to see this visually if you're a visual learner. If you just like sticking to the podcast, then I'll describe it for you as well. Okay, so we've got King Queen of Clubs on the button, and the blind levels are 10-20. Everyone has just about a starting stack, which is 250 big blinds. We're just super deep here. So, being 8-handed, it's going to fold around to the hijack, who min raises. So the pot is 30 from the small blind 10 and the big blind 20, and he makes it 40. So he does a min raise, and then it folds to us on the button with King Queen of Clubs. Now, what to do here? I like a raise because we already have the button. We've got a big advantage because we've got suited good hand on the button here. I'd like to isolate the initial raiser and get the blinds out. I want to go heads up with this hand. Now, what's sizing here? We could do something like 3x. We could do 120. At the beginning stages of these ignition tournaments, see, everyone here is anonymous, so we have no idea if we've played 1,000 hands with this person or if we've only played 3. We've got our HUD up, And we're only 11 hands in here, and the initial raiser we have seven hands on him. Really not much to go on. He's a 29-29. Those stats are irrelevant. It's only 7 hands. So an unknown player. What sizing do we use? These early levels, I think I like going a little bit bigger, maybe something like 150. Build a little bit of a pot, and not only that, but what that'll do is if he re-raises us at that point, we can be fairly certain that we're behind. We're so deep we can call and take a flop in position and play our hand. We could also make it a little bit smaller. We could go like 90 or 100 just to get the blinds out and go heads up with the original raiser. But either one I think is okay. I think we need to raise here. I think calling is probably bad. I don't want to invite the small blind and the big blind in. I want to play this one heads up. So we end up raising. We make it 95. If I had to do it over again, I'd make it a little bit bigger. I think unknown players, 95, they're going to call as well as a bigger bet. But this really does not narrow his range much. It's just like the hand from last week with Alex when Al Jaws wrote in. I think the raise here is too small, and I like it a little bit bigger. So if I had to do it over again, I'd make it bigger. He calls. And here, I don't think we can narrow his range much. I think, if he's raising something like 8-7 of hearts, he's always calling here. And I think he's probably calling a bigger bet too. But, we don't mind that. We want him putting in money with when he's behind. And we can go for the there. Okay, so total pot is 220. And we see a flop of 10 of spades, 7 of spades, 5 of clubs. And again, we have the king of clubs, queen of clubs. So what do we have here? We're in position. We have 2 overs. We have a backdoor flush draw, and we have a backdoor straight draw. So if we get running clubs, we'll have a flush. If we get a jack-9, we'll have a straight. If we get a jack-ace, we'll have a straight. If we hit a queen, we'll have top pair. If we have a king, we'll hit top pair. So when we add these up, we've got 10 clubs, 4 jacks, 3 queens, and 3 kings. Okay, now that turns out to be, 19 good cards because there's not quite 4 jacks. There's only 3 because one of those was counted as a club before. I think the jack of clubs here would probably be the best card for us. That'd be an open-ended straight and a flush draw, and we'd have 2 overs. I think that'd be a great card. So into a pot of 220, villain bets 110. That means that he's betting half pot. And we know when a villain bets half pot, we need to justify this call, we need to win 33% of the time. As deep as our stacks are here, with 250 big blinds, I think this is a very easy call. And it's all going to be dependent on what he does on the turn and what card we get on the turn. If it's one of those that we can justify making a raise with or even calling the turn with. I also think that there might be a couple other cards here that could be very good for us, and that would be a 9 or an ace. A 9 or an ace would give us a gut shot to hit a jack. If one of those is a spade, we've got a decision because now there's 3 spades on the board. But just because he's betting the flop here does not mean that he's going to bet the turn. So regardless of what card comes on the turn, he may check. And if he does, we can continue to go onto the river, or we can maybe throw out a value bet if we hit something, or if we pick up a good draw. So we go to the turn after we call. There's 440 in the pot, and the turn is the 8 of hearts. So with the king, queen of clubs on the button, the board now is 10 of spades, 7 of spades, 5 of clubs, and the turn is the 8 of hearts. Not one of the cards we were hoping for. So we're not turning any of our back doors here, and all of those 19 outs that we were hoping for on the flop, none of them came in. This means, at least in my mind, that we're now down to essentially 6 outs, 2 of which may not be good, but I don't think we can be completely stop in our tracks if it is a queen of spades or king of spades. But if he bets here, then we're essentially drawing to possibly 6 outs, which may not even be good. I think that we got to fold to any kind of bet here, unless it's super small. He, again, bets half pot. He bets 220 into 660, and we let it go. I think that's a good fold there, but I also think it's a good call on the flop to see what develops on the turn. If you get any of those cards that are going to help your hand, and oftentimes here, villains as well, they have a high percentage of bets on the flop, C-bets on the flop, and they have a low percentage on the turn. So this one isn't quite that because, we 3-bet them, but that same stat will tell you generally how they're playing. Unfortunately, here we have no hands on this guy, but this works really well for Poker Stars, America's Card Room, Party Poker, ones that where they're not anonymous and you can get thousands of hands on players. So that was a interesting hand. I have one more for you here, but first I'm going to tell you about Elliot Roe. Yes, you have to get in the right mindset before you play poker. If you're thinking about everything else, you're not going to be focused. And when you play cards, you're basically making money every time you're dealt 2 cards. And the way to maximize that is to get in the right mindset before you play. Listen to an MP3, a hypnosis tape before you play that's specific to the type of game that you're going to play. If you like online tournaments, if you like online cash, if you like live cash, if you like spin and goes, whatever your poison, for me it's the tournaments, listen to his MP3 specifically for that before you play. You can try it out for free. Got a free 7-minute Tilt-Buster. Okay? Click on the link in the show notes. It'll take you straight there. Download it to your phone and listen before you play. That'll give you a chance to try it out. When you do get an MP3, use the code HUPOKER. You'll score yourself a little discount. We got an affiliate link over there. Alrighty. Now, next hand is 5 of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, and we're in the big blind. Okay? There's going to be 4 people in this hand. We have 150 big blinds in the big blind. Under the gun raises to 3 big blinds. He has 55 big blinds. We get a call from the cutoff, who has 80 big blinds, and we get a call from the small blind, who has 55 big blinds, just like the under the gun raiser. The pot is 600, and it's 120 for us to call, so we're getting 5 to 1. Do we flick in a call, or is this a fold? I would argue for a call here, because it's suited. We want to hit 2 pair, we want to hit 3 of a kind, we want to hit some kind of flush, or we want to hit a straight draw. Okay, so if it was offsuit, you can dump the flushes out of there. I think it becomes this is a very weak hand, but getting 5 to 1, and the fact that we're so deep stacked, if average stack size here was 20 bigs, I think this is a fold. But, here deep stacked, I think it's worthy of a call. So we flick in the call. Pot now is 720, and we get a flop of Queen of Diamonds, 5 of Clubs, 3 of Hearts. Okay, so Queen, 5, 3, Rainbow. We do have 1 diamond out there, and we have the 2, 5 of Diamonds. So we have a backdoor flush draw, we have middle pair, and we've got a backdoor straight draw. If something like 4 ace comes in, or 4 6, that'd be a bad end of a straight, but it'd be a straight nonetheless. And we could hit some 2 pairs. We could hit 3 of a kind with 5. Small blind checks to us into a pot of 720 with the stacks that have 3,100 behind, or the 55 big blinds. Stack to pot ratio is about 4.5. Do we check or do we bet? In spots like this, we don't have a whole lot of hands on these players. The most hands we have is under the gun, and we have 31 hands on him. He's a 16-10. Okay, no 3-bet. The cutoff, we only have 4 hands. He's an unknown. The small blind, we have 26 hands, and he's a 15-8. So those two are fairly tight. What do we do here? Do we lead or do we check? In spots like this where we have a middling pair, weak kicker, I like to go for the lead here. And the reason is because I feel like if we check and they bet, we can't call. Yet we have some kind of equity in this pot because we got a pair here. So I like to go for a lead here, maybe like a third or half pot, and see what they do. If we get raised, at that point it's an easy fold. If we get calls, now we've got quite a few cards on the turn that could really help us. We have 2 5s left in the deck. That would give us trips. So that's 2 outs. We have 3 deuces, which would give us 2 pair. There's 4 4s. I don't know how much you can really count into those, but that would be part of the backdoor straight, which would give us open-ended straight draw. That would give us 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd need either a 6 or an ace. It'd be a 4-card straight if we made it, but it could be good nonetheless if somebody's got like a set. We've got 9 diamonds. Okay. Oh, so again, we have to remove one of the 4s there. So we actually only have 3 4s because we're counting that. I'm sorry, we got 9 diamonds because we've removed the 4 diamonds. So I go for a half pot bet here. So with 2 5 of diamonds into queen of diamonds, 5 of clubs, 3 of diamonds, I bet half pot. I bet 360. Under the gun, he calls. Okay. Cutoff calls and the small blind folds. So I think the under the gun raiser, I think he could be slowish playing some hands here with like if he has aces, kings, if he's got a set of queens. I think he probably should be raising there, but players on this site, I don't know that they are. He could have something like king, queen, queen, jack, maybe queen 10 suited. He could have a lot of pocket pairs. He could have something like jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s, maybe even 6s there. And he could also have hands like the wheel aces suited with a backdoor flush draw. And I think the cutoff is somewhat similar to that, except I believe we can take a lot of his nutted range out. So we can take out the aces, the kings, the queens. I think we can also, with his call here, I think we can take out a set of 5s, which we also block. I think we can take out a set of 3s. I think most players are going to raise a set there. But I think we can keep in a lot of the queens and pocket pairs, just like we talked about for the under the gun player. He could have something like 4-6 suited. That might make sense. Any of the real suited connectors like 5-4, maybe 3-4 as low as that. We can put in his range there. So we're looking to hit, and we go to the turn, and the turn is the 2 of spades. So we have the 5 of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, and the board now is rainbow, and it's queen, 5, 3, deuce. So we turn second and bottom pair. Okay, so we got 2 pair here. I think this is one of the cards that we might be able to, that we can get it in on. I think a 5 would have been a little bit better, but still here, if we lead out and we get some action, it'll be tough to fold, especially since nobody raised us on the flop. We can take a lot of their nutted range out. So into 1800, we're looking to get stacks in here on the turn. There's going to be some bad river cards. We don't want to see an ace. We don't want to see a 4. We don't want to see another queen. We don't want to see a king. We don't want to see a jack. Yeah, there's a fair number of cards that we don't want to see on the river. So we're looking to get it in here. We're looking to get stacks. We bet half pot. We bet 900, which I think puts the under the gun guy. Now he's got 2,800 behind. There's 2,700 in the pot. I think he either has to fold his ace king here or go with it. He's not going to fold a queen. I think he's either going to shove or fold here. And we're definitely calling. So we bet out 900. He does shove his last 28-10, bringing the pot to 55-10. Now it goes to the cutoff, and he also shoves his last 4,300. So here we've got 9,800 in the pot. 9,800 in the pot, and it is another 3,200 for us to call. We're getting more than 3-1. This is an easy call. This is more than what we're hoping for. If one of them turned a set of deuces, I mean, we block like everything here, except for ace 4. And if under the gun was getting cute with the set of queens, we're blocking everything here. We get it in, we call. And both players show, under the gun shows pocket kings. And the cutoff was much weaker than we thought he was. He had 2-3 of clubs. So he turned bottom 2 pair. And river is essentially a blank. For us anyways, it's a 6 of clubs, and we scoop a really nice pot. So I guess this episode was on counting your outs for the turn and whether to continue or not. On the king of clubs, queen of clubs, we got that bad 8 of hearts turn. On this one, we got a pretty good one, and we were able to get 2 stacks from it. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to get your free 7-minute Tilt-Buster. Click on the link in the show notes. And if you want other MP3s, use the code HUPoker and save yourself some cash. You can check out the free training videos at Tournament Poker Edge. You know the codes when you sign up: HUP month, HUP quarter, and HUP year. Bookmark us on Amazon through headsuppoker.poker. Follow me on Twitter at HUP Podcast. Follow me on Facebook, Heads Up Poker Podcast. And thank you for tuning in each and every week. Here is your weekly motivational speech.
So if you are going to discover the hero within you, you must be prepared to confront the crisis around you. In fact, the current crisis that you face right now may be an opportunity for God to show you that a hero lies in you.
You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than anything you can ever begin to imagine. You have million-dollar ideas, billion-dollar ideas in you. There are people waiting to hear your voice. You have a vision of yourself doing more, achieving more, taking care of your family, making your mark, leaving a legacy.
We seem almost to draw comfort from the need to figure things out and to assume that life has some reason, some structure, some master plan. We like to think if you live your life a certain way, you can expect to go through certain things. We like to think that bad things don't happen to good people. We like to think that if we treat everybody right, everybody will treat us right. We need to think that because we need desperately to get some sort of control over the chaos of life.